Hey guys, welcome back to Open Air. I'm Logan, and today we're going to be going through an emergency kit. So this is a kit that I put together as a Christmas gift for a buddy of mine, and I figured I'd just kind of go through it, show you guys what I've elected to put into it, and go from there. So before I get into it, obviously this is just something that I figured I'd put together. Some things that I thought were essential, but at any given time, you can kind of take things out, add your own stuff, and that's kind of the best thing about building your own emergency kit is the fact that you can put whatever you want into it. So whatever best fits your needs, you can put into that emergency kit for your liking. So the first thing that I want to show you is I actually went with these Apache cases. I got these actually from Harbor Freight. I caught them on sale for Black Friday. I believe the original price for these is $29.99, but I got them 30% off, so they were like 20 bucks. But yeah, so I thought this would be a great idea for that. Orange, they didn't have red, but orange I figured is very noticeable as a color, so having it in the back of a vehicle, in your trunk, back of your pickup, whatever the case is, pretty easily to identify it. The nice thing I like about these Apache cases is they're watertight, and then they also come with, on the inside, they're fully foamed out, so you can kind of, obviously, there's a couple different inserts in here that you can kind of poke those out and make it to whatever you liking. Otherwise you can do whatever you want with these, but I've just elected to take the first two inserts out and just leave the bottom insert and the upper insert. That's just the case itself. So the first couple items I wanted to go through, just kind of the basic necessities I thought should go into it for being an emergency kit. And the first thing is I actually went with an IFAK refill kit. So I got this from Rhino Rescue, but I thought this kit gave all the basic necessities that to treat trauma. So I just kind of went with this. Best kind of bang for your buck, as you would say. The next two things that I want to show quick is I really love these med pods. They're from Lightning Products. Again, I get these right off Amazon. This bandage pack, again for IFAKs, for trauma, it's only 10 bucks, and you get quite a few different things in here. I think for 10 bucks for something that you can grab one of these, either have it just to have on hand or to kind of build out your own kits, I think you get a pretty decent little pack out for what this offers. And then the next thing is just a standard Band-Aid pack. I think these are like 6 bucks. I think the biggest thing that I like about this pack is the Band-Aids in here are really good. So they're not like your cheap Band-Aids. They're they have very good adhesive on them, and so again, just your standard bandage package. Alright, so to jump right into the kit itself, I'm just going to kind of show you the items that I've elected to put into here. So if you pop the case open, first thing you see off the bat is the first aid manual. This is a manual that comes in with the IFAK refill kit, so just your basic instructional guide. Just goes through brief instructions on some of the items that come in there, on how to use them. So I thought this would be handy just to keep in there, just for basic reference. Over here, these are just some of the gauze pads. So this is your 8x10, your 5x9. Just to kind of stay on the, I've kind of elected to kind of keep one side of the kit towards the trauma basic stuff for treating medical, and then just some of your emergency things on the other side. So here I got that nasal airway. It's a 28 FR. And then you got your cat tourniquet, an emergency blanket, again to help treat hypothermia. Otherwise, just a nice blanket to kind of keep warm if need be. And then here I got two gloves, nitro gloves, just right off to the side, again for your safety. Throw those on. Here are your 2 chest seals, so I got those right off to the side, as well as a pair of trauma shears. Here is a triangle bandage, a nice oval eye patch. Here is, I believe, a 6-inch Israeli bandage. So again, another decent bandage. If you got to apply pressure onto something, it comes with like a wing nut. Wrap it around the wound. Also has a really nice gauze pad on the inside. So many different uses for that. There is a marker here, so if when you apply that tourniquet, you want to just write the time that you've applied it, so that hopefully whenever you get medical attention, they know when that tourniquet was applied. Here's just some other roll gauze out of that Lightning refill kit. So you got a 2-inch, 3-inch, and I believe a 4-inch. So just a couple different variations of that. Just a small little roll of duct tape. Duct tape can be used for a lot of different things. So here's some Z-fold gauze. The first one is just your standard Z-fold gauze for packing wounds. You can use this to wrap, but again, trauma related. And then this one is also Z-fold, but it does have the hemostatic agent in it to help with blood clotting. Here is another elastic bandage, so just another variation. And then we also got another kind of like stretch tape bandage, so once you've applied any of those, you can wrap this around. Keeps it tight, but allows the mobility within the limb or whatever you're using to, you know, whatever you're taping. And then there is also a 36-inch splint here, so many different variations you can use with this. You can use this on your arm, your leg, your elbow, many different things that you can, you know, stabilize a limb to prevent, you know, further damage, limit that mobility until you can seek proper medical attention. And then on this side here, I just have a life straw. So, you know, just another form of way to siphon water. So again, this side I kept more towards medical trauma related, and then on the other side, just kind of like your basic emergency items that you may need. So again, life straw. So if you had to, you know, drink from a stream or a puddle or something, you didn't have no water, you got this in there. Here's just some paracord, 550 paracord, 50 feet worth. You can use paracord for many different things, so I just threw that in there. I do got just a cheap Ozark light, battery operated, so I do plan, you know, to throw some extra batteries in here, but just a small little light headlamp that you can throw on if in emergency you're changing a tire, you know, whatever the case is, it's there. Or if you had to grab this kit, hike from your vehicle, whatever the case is, you got a source of light. Again, just to kind of go with, you know, basic injury, whatever the case is, I did add a couple instant cold packs, so you can just snap the inside and you got ice packs. Just your basic utility knife. This has a bunch of different options in it. You got your blade, Phillips, flathead, can opener, file, a serrated knife. So just your basic little stuff, nothing fancy. These are the disposable compressed towelettes. So a little bit bigger. These actually are almost 12-inch by 16-inch towels. So you just add a little bit of water to them. They basically come unraveled, and then you got a towel. So you can use this to help yourself clean up. Have a towel to, you know, do whatever you have to do with a towel. Here, I just threw in a little camp stove, and then on the inside I got a couple different fire starters. So I got one with these Go Fires. You just light this whole pack up, and it burns for about 5 minutes. It gives off a pretty decent flame. And then these are just some camp stove tablets. So you light this, and this will actually burn, I want to say, for quite a bit of time. I think it's like 15 minutes. It gives off a pretty good, decent heat. So you just light this, and then you can put this right underneath the stove here, or right on top. And then you can, you know, put your stove like this, and then put your cup right on top of it. So nice and handy there. But just some different options for that. I did add in some stormproof matches. So you strike them, light them under, you know, you put these in, submerge them in water, and then they'll come back out lit. On the other side here, let's see here. These are just, I kind of created a couple little packs here with some wet ones, dude wipes, and then there's also a off little DEET. So if you're in a bug infested area, you can wipe that on and hopefully kind of keep the bugs off of you. Some cotton balls here along with a striker. So again, another way to start a fire or a flame, whatever you had to do with that. In here, I got just like your basic medications: ibuprofen, Tylenol, Aleve. I even added some energy mints. So 1 mint is equivalent to, I believe, 1 cup of coffee. There's 3 mints in a pack. So again, if you just needed some energy, and then I added some hydrocortisone cream, as well as the lubricant to go with the nasal airway. So there's that. And this one is those Band-Aids that I kind of took out of that lightning pack. So just a couple different variations of that, as well as I also put in 2 variations of the Steri strips. So it's basically a zip tie Band-Aid. So if you had a bigger wound, you can, you know, clean that wound, put this on, pull those zips, and then shut that wound. And then with that, also pair these adhesive wound dressings. So once you put that Steri strip on, put that over the top of it, just to help keep bacteria and things out of that wound while it's healing up. And then again, just some mouthwash, maybe, you know, basic hygiene stuff. You could throw a toothbrush in here, you know, some toothpaste, whatever the case. Here's just your basic 18-ounce stainless steel cup. So again, you can throw some water in here, heat it over that little stove, and you got some water. And then I also added in, these are some, there's about 5 bath towels in here. So there's a biodegradable soap on them. They're infused. You just get them wet. You can rinse yourself off, and then it's just a wipe clean. So you just wipe yourself clean. You don't have to then rinse yourself, but at least you can get yourself cleaned up. So just another option to throw in here. All right, so that was the kit. Let me know if this was a good kit to put together, things that you would have elected to throw in it, things you would like to take out. And hopefully you guys have a good Christmas, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.